Okay, let me just resume. That was a very unfortunate disconnection, but we'll get back in and see how we do from here. And hopefully it will remain stable. I am keeping an eye on stream performance. And, yeah, I'm not going to stay too long on this one. But we were progressing. We're nearly out of the first section back when... yeah. Nearly out of the first section back when I noticed the disconnection, in which I hopefully noticed promptly and didn't leave you folks hanging for too long. It seems like we did manage to notice that quickly. Which is good, because if it were just a total mystery as to why you had all been deserted, that would have been quite unpleasant. Particularly for those of you who have been waiting patiently to be played. And that came in a little bit low. But yeah, we're back. We're up and running. Yeah, one of you was asking about the schedule earlier. The schedule may actually be going through some changes fairly soon, because the timetable that we had set out for this stream and kind of converged on was sort of set back in February before lockdown conditions began, and so it was planned around what my general timetable was like through the week back then. And that's the schedule we've been keeping to, which has been, we have two separate start times. One is kind of an afternoon NA evening EU session, which usually starts at around 10 Pacific, 1 Eastern. One is the one that you're watching right now, which is the late night start time, which is also 1 Eastern and 10 Pacific, but 12 hours on the other side of the clock. So, like, that is hopefully not too complicated to keep track of, where you just have two standard start times that are 12 hours apart. The thing that will be changing is probably the days. Like, we'll be doing more of these night streams and possibly moving the day stream off Wednesday, because it just has too many conflicts. And it did not originally have so many conflicts. That was the issue. The other thing is that we'll hopefully be expanding summer programming back beyond Mario Maker again. We've been doing pretty much 100% Mario Maker since mid-April. But I do occasionally try to break things up with some indie games or other Nintendo games, and working some of those back in. Typically we do viewer levels about... try to do about 3 different sessions a week, with a mix of the daytime and late night start times. On weekends, we tend to do catch-up sessions of full worlds and some harder levels and some levels that are just kind of unfinished business from string here. Okay, I'm not going to make it through this time because of the way this is gated. Really do need to take the squirrel all the way around. Yeah, I'm just going to do a quick check at this point. See how we're doing in terms of who actually did manage to survive the network enforced purge, which is most of you, so thank you for sticking around as far as Switch knows it. And we'll hopefully be able to move on with the queue fairly shortly. I'm not going to be staying on this one too long, as I said, but because it's something that is, with its clear percentage and with my level of precision or imprecision when it comes to the squirrel suit, I'll try to make it at least past the first section, but I won't do a big grind on it. I'll try to give it a fair look, though, to try to play this part as intended. We came in way too low that time. Way, way too low. Lasora, welcome back. We just had a massive disconnection on our end, but it seems like we are back up and running, and so thank you for joining us. And thank you for adding to the queue. The queue is going to look lengthy at this point, but I don't know how many people ahead of you actually managed to stay past the network issue we had just now. So hopefully soon enough we will get to your Muncher Desert platformer. No, that was a mistake. I need to wall jump off the left side. I am doing fine, thanks for asking, apart from the disconnection earlier, which looked like it was something on our ISP's side, and therefore totally out of my control. We hadn't had that happen in about 2 weeks. Like, we had 1 week that you may remember a few weeks ago where just constant disconnections, you know, breaking up all the streams, but we had been fine for a while, and now we're not fine.
Oh no!
We are recovering. And so yeah, I think my objective will be to get past this section at least once. We'll probably call it on this level from there. Oops.
Oh no!
But yeah. I mean, if we do get just far enough with the squirrel suit, it looks like it is hard to cheesable. Just because of the ice cold layout. Of course, before the stream was so rudely interrupted by internet issues, we were talking about building levels that are under an item constraint, like this one is. This one is one of those levels that is under a 12 item constraint. And basically how to come up with solutions for, you know, various common gating mechanisms that can be very dependent on certain items like Boulder Blasters, Munchers, etc. Because, you know, the thing about the ice cold layouts like this is that they are very potentially vulnerable to cheesing, but we've been searching so far, and it looks like this level has actually been fairly well defended against a lot of those potential shenanigans. Nope, slipped a little too far. Okay. Let's make it through here. Let's drop in. And dropping again. We've been going consistently too low on this one. We know that the next burst is going to be to the right. Followed by a wall jump. No. Yeah, that one feels like it's too dependent on the camera position that I can't see. Like, there's no way to necessarily research that camera position, just given that you don't have access to kind of like a twirl. So try to at least get past that section. Nope. Bad landing. Yeah, and then this is all pretty strictly enforced. So.
Oh no!
We do see checkpoint 1 pretty much immediately after the next series of drops. And checkpoint 2 after the green pipe that takes you out of Subworld 2. And yeah, let's drop in. Whoops.
Oh no!
Okay, maybe one more good attempt at this. I don't think Caden has actually checked in to see this, but we needed a little bit of adding time for people to properly reconnect and get settled anyway, and yeah, let's see if we can get past that and at least take one more crack at the last jump that we were failing at. Let that get taken out by itself. Nope, that's annoying. It's going to be a bust once again. Oh yeah, almost out of the first section, but not quite. Still had pretty essential obstacles to figure out. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't float out of that to begin with. This is tightly enforced enough that it's a little bit difficult to find an appropriate height to begin the glide. You have to be fairly precise. Now, I am trying to keep an eye on things like the network performance, just given that we had suffered some issues just now, so do let me know if there are any problems, especially problems with lag reasserting itself. Okay. No, too low. Yeah, it's just, I think it's just a little too hard to see that. Like, if we had taken greater advantage of the invincibility frames, we could have busted through the top corner. We can try to cheese that at least once. But really not the intent way to do it. In fact, that brick seems pretty strategically placed too. I mean, it's not going to be a hard prevention of damage boosts, but it will prevent you at least from getting there while small, and then it's just going to trust that you require 2 hits to get up there in time. Whereas I think 1 hit from a squirrel suit, if you're going to take it in a particular place, will still get you through, but at least it prevents you from getting through if you're taking damage really early in this level, like in this first section right here. Trust in Mario Maker, well, you know, it comes and goes. It comes and goes. It isn't always a good idea. It is sometimes a terrible idea. Okay, that time at least we got out of that safely to try again. Look at that, we're through. Right as I thought I was finished with this. Okay, it looks like this is going to enforce something with the squirrel. Right, because it's going to enforce some damage as you fall through the icicles. Yeah, let's see. That's how it works as a squirrel check. Okay, we'll at least see this section. I don't know if I'm going to be looking at anything very similar in terms of difficulty tuning. There's going to be a lot of snowballs here. It's asking us to take the shell and throw it at the brick, and we totally did not do that, which tells me not much, because we didn't see very far ahead. Okay, I've barely seen this section. We'll see if we can take it a little further since we are progressing. I'm going to take this down just in case. Oh, no, that's a bad idea, as it turns out. Oh, I see. Throw the shell over here. Okay, fine. We're at a checkpoint. That's easy. That is not a problem at all. Okay, up we go. And up and up and up. No, we put on the shell. That's a bad idea. Yeah, I mean, it does clearly signal here that we want the shell throw. Oh, I see. I see the point of this obstacle. The point of this obstacle is to take the shell and slide down here without hitting any of the spikes in the face by mistake. And then you toss the shell through. Let me think about whether there's any kind of alternate method applied to this. I don't think so. I think we have to take that. Yep. Left, right setup for sure. I have seen these before. It took me a moment to read what was going on there. And I actually should have used the floats to take myself down gently. Okay, let's try this again. Nope. Actually, the cling is a bit of an issue if you lose the shell. Okay.
Oh no!
May as well try to at least learn this mechanic properly. Or it will come back to haunt us if we don't. Nope. Yeah, no, here's the issue, is that if I try to float down, I actually can't turn quickly enough. If I turn, like what happens is it does the wall cling and I lose the shell. So I actually do need to fall and do a quick left, right, left, right. I just need to figure out a rhythm for that. Hopefully get through the gates. No, too much trouble. Okay. Nope, too slow. But I don't think the float helps. Unless I'm just too slow on changing directions out of the float, but I don't think it helps. I don't really have the opportunity to test it either, unless I test it here, let's say. Yeah, if you're floating, it takes way too long to actually turn around. You can't quite see it because it's off camera. If I'm floating, I can't do a quick directional change. I have to just do left, right, left, right. To be honest, I don't think I can really do it. Let's just go ahead. Yeah, there's going to be squirrel check followed by green pipe followed by checkpoint 2. So at least it's a very short section between checkpoint 1 and 2, and so we can afford to maybe try this somewhat quickly. The other thing I can do is do a kind of two-finger input. No. As I'm using the Pro Controller and the D-pad, it's going to totally kill that idea. So the idea was that I would just tap left and right really rapidly using my index and middle fingers rather than using the thumb to rock back and forth. Because then I have a bit of a faster, more controlled rhythm. The issue is that the Pro Controller, which I'm using, has massive issues with the accidental up or down when you try to do that. I don't think I'm going to like change controllers and play with the Joy-Cons just to do this segment. Okay, too fast actually. Watch the drop trajectory carefully, and actually that might be a bad idea in general anyway, simply because I need to, yeah, still get off of that last wall at the end and make my way accurately over to the right side. No. Keep telling myself that I won't stay on this too long, but then we hit a checkpoint, and now we're doing reasonably. Like we managed to get to the second last one. And I know, given the pipe setup, that takes us back to the main world. I'm seeing it earlier, that we're very likely to hit checkpoint 2 in just a moment. So. Almost think there's a better way to do this. I have all these bricks here. Nope. Why did I do that? Oh, and those refresh. You can hear the vines coming out of them, can't you? So these actually refresh on reload. I don't know why. I don't know that it actually does anything interesting for us here. not like we have other means of destroying them any. It might not be vines actually. I hear maybe power up spawning from them. I know that's one. I want to see. Okay, no, that's nothing. Looks like it was probably vines after all. William 77s.
Oh no!
22nd upside down speedrun. Okay, yeah, we'll try to get that soon enough. Got a lot to get through, but we'll be on for quite a while yet. So, people who are staying, I will try to keep a commitment to getting all of you played. With the understanding, of course, that some people might not be able to stay and will have to drift off with time. But usually, I'm able to get through everybody by the end. There we go. And that's a squirrel check. Not fine. Yeah, B. Luigi, I know you're next. Well, this is kind of a bossy setup. Okay, that is actually encouraging because it means that first of all, we need to read what's going on. We need to get over to the flag from the other side. And what's going on here? I see. So we need to bust this guy down. Because he is going to enforce a hard collision, isn't he? Wait a minute. Does he enforce a hard collision? I didn't think so. Big dry bones, yeah, I think he does. No, he doesn't. What am I talking about? Like, did I just cheese this whole part without thinking about it, or is there really nothing after checkpoint 2? Because it looked kind of like a whole lot of nothing after checkpoint 2. So it looks like the hard part was really just entirely the first section. I don't think I understood what happened there, and I think the creator might have left and can't explain, but I enjoyed that well enough. I feel like sometimes I'm much too generous about this sort of thing on stream, but I enjoyed it well enough. I just think that it was very likely that either the last section doesn't matter, or I just broke it. And of course, this was done under a 12-item constraint, so it's quite possible that the concept was meant to be something a little more ambitious at the end there. Looking at a layout here to see what's going on in the post-CP2 segment. Okay, we got it. Oh, only the third clear, actually, but third clear from a fairly small pool of players, so people were willing to try this over and over. Dream RPG, we'll see about that, because we do have quite a few people in queue at this point. And of course it depends, like if your first world like only has like one level in it or something, like one castle right away, then yeah, sure, I'll play more than one world, but that will be kind of up to my judgment. Let me see if I actually marked this as a win. I don't think I did. Yeah, let's try to clear some of the queue a bit. And the king, welcome back. Submission. B. Luigi, let's take a look at CP 1-1, right? I think this was a resubmission of something we had looked at before. I can recall it being trollish. Hopefully not be too long a wait for further back. Yeah, thank you so much for waiting, and particularly to those of you who stayed past the disconnection ones. Ah yes, this is the one that has no clears. Clear from the start. I think I remember this one. It says clear from the start. It has two little flag icons that kind of indicate to you that you should not be taking the flag. Yeah, I know which level this is. Yeah, actually, I think there was one particular thing that you had already sent me two versions of this, in fact, and I remember running into a bit of a problem with the second version, or just something I didn't understand. Oh, dropping into that door still does nothing? Okay. Oh yeah, these trampolines look new. I don't think they present before, but we're just trying to get to the end here because there's this massive subworld at the end of all this. Like a really dense subworld that you have to traverse with the SMB2 power-up and sort of things. Okay. So this jump block, last time at least, gave us a bomb, and the bomb is something that I can't quite remember. But okay, we'll have to be careful around that piranha plant. Okay. I'll show you why I'm skipping that for those of you who are seeing this for the first time. And I understand there may have been some changes that have changed the whole logic of this level, so I'm wrong. I believe this drops a bomb. Yeah, drops a bomb and it takes out the on-off switch. The problem with taking out the on-off switch is that there is an on-off check that happens much later because this is a bit of a troll design. So if the on-off switch was activated, you cannot get past another section that comes fairly soon. This one right here. And there's a huge custom scroll that squishes you. Now, that coin we had actually checked in an earlier version. It is now surrounded by a box. One that was in the lower right of the F screen we saw just now. I believe that was just bait, at least last time. Once again, things may have changed, and indeed things did change already to fool us before, so we cannot rely on anything we already thought we knew. Alex, welcome back. Okay, we were slow. Custom scroll is going to push us hard enough that we actually do need to get through it quickly. Not have time to fool around there. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I was not paying attention. I looked over in chat for a moment. Totally missed that jump. There are certain things about streaming this game, or indeed any game, that you don't necessarily think about as adjusting the way that you play until you actually do it. And one of those things is just occasionally you think you're in a position of safety and you glance over to see what people have been saying. You realize that you grossly misjudged your apparent position of safety. Things were not looking so rosy after all. Let's get past this section because, like, the interesting part is, like, later on. Now, the interesting part later on, however, involves both checkpoints surrounding a very densely packed subworld, and it kind of shows us that there's probably a hidden key early in this level, and that the hidden key might take you to the finish, because, like, the finish does require you to get through some kind of key door, and I haven't seen where that entrance is yet. Okay, let's get through quickly. Go. This, last time I checked, was still a trap. We might try it again later if we're back here, but I'm not going to look at this too. But for now, notice that those mushrooms that were flying down were also by themselves a trap. They were stacked on the munchers, I think, to trick you out. Okay, that pokey enforces a little bit of speed. 47, okay, Alex, just one moment. Alex, I think 47 was already called earlier. No, 43 was called earlier, so 47 is perfectly acceptable, so. Let's pull that right up. Thank you once again for cashing in your points. I will have to diversify the rewards at some point to keep things interesting. But in the meantime, William Shakespeare's Sonnet 47. Betwixt mine eye and heart a league is took, and each doth good turns now unto the other. When that mine eye is famished for a look, or heart in love with sighs himself doth smother, with my love's picture then my eye doth feast, and to the painted banquet bids my heart. Another time mine eye is my heart's guest, and in his thoughts of love doth share a part. So either by thy picture or my love, thyself away, our presence is still with me. For thou not farther than my thoughts canst move, and I am still with them, and they with thee. Or if they sleep, thy picture in my sight awakes my heart, the heart's and eye's delight. Okay, thank you for that, Alex. We will mark that as redeemed, and we will get back to the level. For those of you joining us late, we had a bit of a moment of hilarity earlier in the stream where we left the overlay on when we got back to the level. It was a squirrel suit level, as you can see, not here, but you can see how it looks right now. I'm going to turn that off in a sec. It was a squirrel suit level where you could see Aviator Mario completely fail to fly. It was very strangely ironic. To be or not to be, does it even matter? Well, you see, the thing is, right, like, Be Luigi, that is actually a very accurate summary of the original to be or not to be speech from Hamlet. Like, but a significant part of that speech is about asking whether it even matters. So that's the thing about Shakespeare, is that you find that he is well ahead of everybody several steps along the way. So William Shakespeare, you know, if he wanted to design troll levels back in his day, I think he would have been very good at it. Given that, like, a substantial amount of pleasure people get from Shakespeare is that there's a lot of self-referential stuff, and, you know, jokes that really reward you for knowing more about theater. I'm not somebody who knows a lot about theater, but you see lots of plays within plays and devices like that that are meant to trick out the audience, and characters pretending to be other characters all the time, and actors pretending to be characters pretending to be actors. You know, all kinds of stuff like that, so. I mean, if there was something like a troll-level designer among playwrights, Shakespeare would have been very good at it. No question about it. You know, Be Luigi, I've actually watched a fair bit of Kurosawa, but I have not watched Ran, which is, of course, the Japanese cinema take on King Lear. I've actually always wanted to watch that because I've seen a lot of Kurosawa otherwise. Quite like his films. Even the really oddball ones. Like, I don't know if you're aware of the late career piece, which is just called Dreams, or as released as Akira Kurosawa's Dreams, which is like a compilation of surrealist short films. Or fantastical short films. We got trapped. We are before CP1. I see. We were supposed to land on the left side of that one-way. This is going to cause all kinds of issues. Yeah, we know from navigating this level previously, and I do notice the things like the pokey that have been added under the blaster to prevent soft locks. Because we had a soft lock there once, I think. We do know from the flow of this level that eventually we need to drop into the flag from the right side, and that we need something to take out the fire. Could be a Potoboo, could be Fireflower, could be something else. Given the semi-solid layout there, we know we are going to have to come out of the key door. I don't think there's any other path. And it might be one of the key doors earlier in the level if we are able to gain access to them. But I'm not convinced that we will. Hey, this is a little retry that resets the on-off state. Might actually do something for us. Interestingly enough, if we left the on-off state as is, that would still not take us through to where we want to go, so. Hello, the Sir Barry. And W. Jixie, thank you for submitting 6 cents. We'll be on for quite a while yet, so plan to get through all of you who are already here. So you see this key door down here. I think originally there was a way to get to it in one of the earlier versions. It looks a little more firmly locked now until... Of course, a lot of things can happen. We could, you know, get a Master Sword and get back into the beginning of the level and get access to bombs or something like that. We don't know that yet. We do know from the clue that we want to clear it from the start, and that checkpoints are just going to lead us to hints, probably. They're not going to lead us to an actual solution. Logan was never taken. Yeah, the Sir Barry old levels are perfectly acceptable. When I submit to viewer level streams, I do occasionally submit stuff that's from like last July, you know, month 1 of the game. Some of it holds up well. Some of it does. You know, like you can get a lot of pleasure out of seeing your own stuff played if it's something that stands up to the test of time and doesn't have too many bugs all over it. So Logan Zaz, thank you for the submission. It momentarily made me forget about how I needed to pass this Piranha Plant quickly in order to get anywhere. I want to show you folks the second part of this level, because like this is one where if you're just joining us, I had seen earlier versions before. You kind of know what's coming. I was nowhere close to solving it, and indeed, first clear is still up for grabs. Check the spot here. I suspect there are some potential Master Sword shenanigans going on. Quite possibly you drop in from the top. Let's see. We do know for a fact... Actually, no, we do know the Master Sword is in this level, or at least in an earlier version that I've seen. We know that SMB2 is also in it. We don't want to hit that because it'll hit off switch and below this run. Yeah, last story, I know the list probably looks quite long, but we don't know how many people are actually still online or will be able to stay by the time they're called, so... Probably not as lengthy as it looks. Given that this is kind of a weird time zone for people anyway, that, you know, EU people might need to run off to breakfast, NA people might need to get some sleep eventually. I think lately we've been ending some of these sessions so late that we wind up raiding people who are either from Australia or the Philippines, because they're the only ones online at that point. World famous Tall Boys, thank you for the submission. Plan 9 from outer space. It may or may not be from outer space, but given that it's called Plan 9, I'm just going to assume that it is. This is definitely a troll level, Alex. It will become incredibly obvious when I get to the second section past the checkpoint, which remarkably I haven't done in spite of the fact that I have seen previous versions of it. So I've just been poking around at like nonsensical stuff a little bit. No. Did not expect that bounce. Almost 10 AM for you in Holland. Yeah, it is quite perfect for you. Over in Holland, in the nether regions. Yeah. Like I said, a bit of a weird time to stream and do viewer levels, I know. But for those of you who do find it convenient, glad it works out. Hey, we actually blocked the Piranha Plant spawn that time. That seems to be a perfectly valid way of doing that. Okay, let's remember to speed blast the Piranha Plant this time. Yeah, I think I lost a lot of attempts here because I'm still used to the way this worked like 2 or 3 weeks ago when I last looked at it. There was less stuff in the level back then, like there's a lot more that'll kill you now. Yeah, this here is the drop spot from the reset door here. Yeah, we know there's a thwomp above the checkpoint flag. We were too slow. This is going to kill us. No, it's not. Dodge it. Okay, we want to hit the switch. We want to get around pretty... Oh, the pokey cycles around. No. I just missed. Okay. Fine, let's reset this and see if we can redo that. Almost 4 AM in Toronto, wow, okay. Well, given your position in the queue then, I hope you're able to stay a while in Toronto. I mean, you just got up really early, or if you are just very fully nocturnal. That's something that works out, huh? Okay. Get bumped by that thing, and let's remember to take this fast. Yeah, worth a try for sure. I wouldn't necessarily call Toronto the New York of Canada. Like, there's no place that's quite like New York in general. In some respects, maybe. In some respects, Montreal is kind of closer to what you would get out of the New York experience. Depends what you're looking for. Alright, let's touch the flag. This is, of course, an entry pipe. The level is apparently designed around progressing from the beginning, but I'll show you what's past in the entry pipe here. This zone we have seen before, except it is now blocked by the on-off state. That'll kick us back out. Okay, so some things have changed. Definitely changed. We have not tried getting into the blue pipe. That might be odd. Respawning from the checkpoint might be worth a shot in terms of what it will change about the on-off state. In fact, respawning from a checkpoint will do a trick because it will start us off in the on state. So let's just die quickly. Yeah, because we want the switch to be on in order to see the second part. And yeah, and B-Luigi, that just sort of guarantees to me that, like, this is not the actual completion path, as you warned in level description, because I know that you would have had to do their check. Their check might be something very obscure as a dev route, but I think from your description it was very clear that actual completion path requires not touching the checkpoints, and probably has something to do with early keyboard that we saw. Okay, so let's actually dodge the bullets accurately this time. Drop in, go around that one, go around this one. We needed to grab SMB2, we were just very inaccurate about doing so. We got trapped. You're dead. Okay. Yeah, based on knowledge CP, I would assume so. We just never got enough, far enough in this level, rather, to actually see what kind of knowledge we needed. Now, yeah, I do remember how this part worked. Like, we needed to take damage as SMB2 in order to... Well, first of all, we need to not get crushed, we need to not hit invisible blocks, but we do need to lose SMB2 because there is a hidden pipe, at least in an early version. Whoops. Or something like that, that sort of enforces what item we have as we get into the next section. Now, B-Luigi, I think it's fairly obvious that I'm not actually going to finish it this sitting and get the first clear. Like, I really don't expect I'll be able to. But we'll see what we can and see if we can develop some knowledge of this level, this current version. Yeah, we see a whole bottom row there that I think is unlikely to be relevant. A lot of clown cars here, and yeah, you see there is actually a yellow entry pipe that is underneath the clown cars, and that's what sort of forces you to be small as you get past that section. There is another way of doing this, unless... let me think about this, because I need to take damage. But it's not going to be from the invisible blocks, right? Although the invisible blocks do slow down. That's going to be a pretty instant squish. Yeah, B-Luigi, I got to CP2 in an earlier version. I definitely touched it in earlier. Yeah, I remember that you sent me 2 versions of this, and the second time around I actually could not get past this segment, because previously I was getting past the cloud descent here, and just poking my head upstairs, back up here to where the invisible blocks are right now. Like, what I was doing was I was just taking damage from the bullet before proceeding. I don't know if that works anymore. I don't think it does. I need to find some other way of getting through. You know that, like, probably there's something blocking this on-off block here. Yeah, that's true. I have to find some way across. Nope. That's what I was trying to avoid. What if I press on off? Alex, we'll try that in a minute. Alex, no, the on off to the left, I couldn't actually press it because it has a block that's under it. Oh, that's interesting. Except it's just a death. And this is also a death. That's gonna be even more death. Okay. Well, that works out. Yeah, B-Luigi, I noticed that the invisible flying box, like, that apparently whatever I was doing in this section to touch the bullet and take damage was not the intended solution. Apparently cheesed it. But I have not been able to figure out what the solution should be. If you're designing it around a different expectation. Go down on Cloud. Yeah, let me think about that. I mean, I do understand all the stuff that I'm not supposed to do. Nope, no. I can redo this part to grab another SMB2. Those invisible blocks, though. Does enforce things a little bit. Drop in. Okay. Okay, so we need to take damage here without being crushed by the invisible blocks. Now, there was a suggestion earlier to pluck some of these clouds and head down, like in case there is a damage location. Oh, that's interesting. That doesn't do anything useful for us. Because that just leads to... we could go up the left, actually. One-way panels, though. One-way panels do preclude us from pressing. Okay. Looks like this will be a death. We can actually get around. There we go. Just look at this room and think about it. I mean, Interestingly, from that setup there, it looked like we would have been able to fall through on the left side. Okay. So 2 activations of the thwomp on the on-off on the bottom left. A small Mario, if we do not get hit by the poison mushroom, that will actually allow us to drop in. That was not the previous progression path, but a lot of things have changed since I last looked at this, and nothing maybe relied on stay consistent. So let's. We just need to find some way to take damage here. We need to not duck in the spot because that is what creates problems. Can't jump on that spot here. Make crushed here. Block there. We know about the bomb spot. Okay. Yeah, basically we know that there's an additional row down low. Yeah, just give me one. I know there's no interesting movement happening on the screen right now, but that's because I'm trying to read the level and see what's going on. Because previously the progression path was taking the right side here. Still requires it to take damage somehow though. Just don't see a way to do that without getting crushed. Unless... No, I was thinking like high jump with SMB2. No, that's still going to hit the blocks and it's still going to cause some undesired behaviors that way. Can I come back through the yellow pipe? I don't think so, because the yellow pipe is part of a pipe stack that drops you. No, it's on top of donut block actually. Let's try it. Let's try it. Yeah, you can come back, but it's not going to do anything if you don't activate on-off. However, let's say I... Yeah, and there's a block that comes down and tries to crush you. That's the issue over there. However, what if I get on top of that block that is coming down the track and try to get into the top pipe? This? Nope, that crushes you up top when it goes back to the ceiling. Yeah, actually, Alex has kind of spoiled an unbelievable number of puzzles for us, which... I mean, if I minded, I would say I minded. But suggestions tend to be extremely good. Going back through the pipe. Interesting. Okay, no. This is a death zone up here. I've seen this before. Don't know why I came up here, but... Yeah, because you need to dodge that. No. Play this little mini game here. There we go. Take damage out and come back, yeah. Because there is the thwomp and the donut block refreshes. That's absolutely... That is absolutely right. I did see it. Okay, let's try to make our way through. Just need a very particular power-up timing. There's something I was doing in order to get the SMB2 mushroom reliably, and I think I've actually been able to recreate it, yes. Get the track box first, okay. Get to the track box first up. What do you think about this? Oh. I do have a method for this at least, in case I get trapped here by mistake. Maybe it's not working out for me too well, but yeah, because I had avoided that previously. Avoided it quite well. There we go. Almost. E is to get in the track box fast, and then that will hopefully solve the timing. Okay. Yeah, it seems like it's something that's very heavily timing dependent, though. Of course, I see the swamp up top as well, and that's stopping me from going back through with SMB2. I mean, there's the swamp up there. We know there's the donut block above the swamp. Okay, no. I was trying to get on top of that donut block that's off screen, but I think it's off screen by enough that it's not going to help us here. Yeah, not sure I like the timing on this one here, but okay, let's actually try for once to do what we intended many attempts ago. Oh, we got crushed, okay. Crush. Yeah, we're not going to spend too much longer on it until we kind of postpone and try to come back and progress. Like, I feel like we probably lost too much time on stuff that we should not have died to in the first section. So I was quite eager to come back to this part and try to figure it out, and it feels like we've made very little actual progress, but nope, we need to take more damage. More damage, and it looks like SMB2 mushroom comes sailing right in your face as well, so I need to jump as soon as I come. Dodge those. Yeah, there we go. On-off switch, yes or no? I'm gonna say no. Oh. Hey, Tyrion, we actually did play that at the very beginning of this stream, although we had a disconnection earlier, so it would actually be in the video that is right before this one. And it worked out well, except I was too busy actually trying to fly the P-balloon, and so I didn't actually read the story that you had built in, except for seeing most of Bowser's minions die a horrible and fiery death. We'll see if we can hit checkpoint 2, but if I can't do it quickly, I think I'm going to drop this for now, and B-Luigi, if you're able to resubmit, that would be great. Because we do have a lot of people waiting, that's all. Making incremental progress, but I'm finding that even though we know the solution, the execution is still a little bit off for us here. Pop back in, pop back out. Make the hits, jump up one space. Okay, we gotta jump up. Up, there we go. Get through. Okay, poison mushrooms up here. Coins up here. One-way panel defending that. An arrow pointing towards the checkpoint. It's almost as though you have to get to the checkpoint from up top. Or get carried in somehow by something that is on the track. Yeah, if you want to avoid... No, I get it. Except a Goomba timing was extremely inconvenient. I have to ride that block, and riding that block into the side allows me to dodge the... what is it? Dodge the poison mushroom. Yeah, I understood Theoremon that it was found footage. I just didn't really pay probably nearly enough attention to what that footage was telling me. Okay, SMB2 mushroom is stuck, unfortunately, which means that it's not going to respawn. Sacrificing enemies to obtain some kind of power, okay. And instead, I guess he just ended up finding a horror video that showed people doing the same thing. Ah, to level transform quickly. Well, okay, that happens. That, in fact, happens rather often. Nope. We did not manage to dodge that mushroom accurately. We'll need to go back and... Ah! That's unfortunate. Yeah. I find that there are some things in this level that are maybe... Oh, you know what? That works too. That actually works very well. Like, it's surprisingly execution dependent in some... How did I activate the ooze? I did not even see that. Oh, I guess it would have been from the Mega Mushrooms dropping in bottom, which is another kind of conditional gating. I was about to say that, like... I mean, it is kind of a mix of execution challenges. You know, puzzle solving, but... I find that even once we see the solutions, there are certain things that are a bit fussy to actually... punch in, so to speak, but yeah, we'll just try to do this in the intended order and try to hit the checkpoint at least. I don't think I'll necessarily stay in it too much longer after that, but you can resubmit if we are able to run long enough to hold. What it is. Do you think of it as lockpicking? Yeah, I think that's true. It is kind of like lockpicking. No. Getting that. Or like defusing a bomb or something where it's just going to blow up in your face at any given second. Block will shrink you fast. Okay. Yeah, we gotta dodge the Goomba this time. That Goomba was very convenient. Okay, checkpoint 2. Alright. Quite a bit of density to deal with here. Some kind of invisible block nonsense going on here. Ah, yes, that's right. We don't want to hit that spot. We're in fact too high, yeah, because that's going to trap us like crazy. Needed to come in slightly lower. Oops. I did not actually mean to hit that. No, we wanted to get into the lower level. Although... Oh, I was about to say this would take us up through here. And that gives us the off position. I don't think it gives us much else other than allowing us to pick up the trampoline. However, picking up the trampoline is a major deal. Like, that could, in fact, potentially do some things for us. Not if we play like that, it won't. But the fact that we have access to picking up the trampoline with SMB2 tells me I need to start looking out for interactions that we can potentially trigger. And we hit the checkpoint, unfortunately, so we do this bit. That could be major cheese. No. Could be, but I'm not sure that it affects much from what I'm seeing so far. But anyway, we did kind of get reset back to checkpoint 1. I think I'm going to postpone at this point, but as you know, like, you're still waiting for first clear on this, and so, like, it is something that I'm willing to progress on further if you're going to resend. I might do a bit of a longer take on this one regardless over one of my catch-up sessions if we can spend more time with it, but for now I want to get through the queue, and if you're able to stick around, we'll see more of it. Thank you for sending in, as always. We'll kind of assess that properly once we're through a little more of it and see the shape of the solution emerge. Would be happy to keep looking at it. Let's remove it for now. Thank you for Big Mario Tower Climb. Q is getting pretty dense tonight. That's but of course, we probably have a bunch of offliners at this point anyhow, so I'm not too concerned. May close up before too long, but we'll see how we're doing. Dream RPG wanted us to play a world. If Dream RPG is still here, I think they are. Which seems to think so. Yeah. So Dream RPG, as with our stated principle, we'll kind of make our own judgment about how long something will take. You kind of requested like a full half-hour play earlier. I will likely not do that given the length of the queue. I will see how long World 1 is, and I'll do that at a minimum. Got 22 levels over 6 courses, okay. But we'll at least try to get through World 1. Because I do know that particularly with traditional levels that are designed with worlds in mind, it's in Super and those 779 world, that, you know, the levels are designed to be played in a set, and we'll try to give our best appreciation of that within reason. Alright, let's proceed to the optional Piranha Plant, because it's optional, but we're still going to do it. Okay, we're going to start with 64 lives in Vegetal Infestation, because this is, after all, Mario 64. 3D World allows us to jump on these guys all we want, which is presumably going to be our path to the 10 coin up there, which we will try, because we're silly and we do that kind of thing. Let's wrap around here. Welcome to Warp Zone. Yeah, we'll try some of these pipes. Why not? It's going to be more color-coded pipes. Full of creepers. This is probably going to be the way forward. Yeah, it looks like there's actually a reasonable degree of non-linearity here, and full of paths for us to explore, so we'll see how flexible it is. We have given the 10 coin a proof of concept, so we'll... interesting. Just kind of thinking about this segment here. How it might be navigable. Oh, I see. Okay, creeper on the right side. We've busted this thing out, so... Can I respawn it? Yeah, if I go all the way through and come back out. We might try that. We can wall jump back up, so... Yeah, because everybody's going to try that. You know, I don't think it's necessarily a critical change or anything. That's... Oh, whoops. Oh, you mean this planet here? Yeah, yeah. That's partly, I think, because, you know... And I'm actually a fairly slow player by most standards, but, like, a lot of players are going to run immediately on exiting the door or a pipe, and that's something you have to plan around. I needed a bit of a lower bounce there. Lower multiple bounces, in fact, get through that creeper as it retracts. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're just going to let the upper creepers first. I'm going to miss. I do want to attempt that a few more times, though. For a speedrunner, yeah, but I want to see it anyway. Okay, it looks like we have a creeper spot here. I'm going to try the third one. Late. 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 I really do want to make an attempt at it. There we go. Non-stop from beginning to end, yeah. Nice to have multiple paths built in like that. Yeah, because the top left there is where we came in earlier. There's an arrow pointing down, so of course we're going to go up because we do that kind of thing. Oh, that is the speed path. We just should have done a drop and a wall jump. There's also a key door over the top of the flag telling us there is an optional key door path. Nope. Timing, let's do the standard path once more just to see it. Let this guy after this section. Retract before we run through and slam into his face. Yeah, I actually think part of the issue here is that you know, the creeper path is a bit of a mystery when you first see it. Like, you see the thing pop out, you don't know if it's going to go up or down. You don't know if it actually is going to block you. And so I can see why a lot of people would expect that it's safe. Like, even if you see that thing coming, you're not necessarily going to wait simply because of the possibility that it's just there to scare you. Yes, we're going to take this path again. Yeah, clearly designed to be flexible, and I do think that multiple paths are something that are actually underappreciated when it comes to Mario Maker. And that's one thing where the Super World design does not actually improve people's ability to do it, because like you can't actually get back into the cleared course. Like I can't attempt that a second time to see the alternate path without exiting the world experience. Maybe that's just to prevent people from farming lives or whatever, but it is kind of unfortunate given that it's contrary to how traditional Mario worked. Reached the goal after getting at least 30 coins. Well, that's 10 right there. There's 5 more down here. We skipped a bunch of stuff to the left, of course, but that's going to be bottom layer. Not fool around with that. It's going to be another 3. Let's see what this does. Boom. I see 5 pink coins in this course as well. That will give us some kind of bonus exit. Ooh, auto scroll. Looks like this is kind of the bonus path. Oh, we're not fast enough. Yeah, not fast enough. Air condition levels, so good holding one segment, but we will take another crack at that. Yeah, sure, let's grab some coins. We don't know how much headroom we will have yet, so best to do it. And yeah, let's try to segment again. Gotta be fairly accurate, that's all. That was not accurate. And I know this is optional stuff, but I am going to do it anyway. Yeah, for those of you waiting, I am only going to be doing World 1. And within limits. Like, I'm not going to take tons of time on it if we hit some kind of major roadblock. But I do think that some courses do need the Super World format in order to shine in a way that they're designed, so perfectly willing to do them so long as my D-pad cooperates and gives me a long jump rather than a twirl ground, which is definitely a bit of a Pro Controller issue from time to time. Which is very unfortunate. I should pick up a more specialized controller for Mario Maker purposes, like even if it's the official Super Nintendo Retro controller that I have to order in. I just slipped again. Grab a green shell and throw it at a red coin. Yeah, that seems like a smarter thing to do. Timing-wise. I mean, part of it is that I'm trying to test out how viable that timing is, right? So, not necessarily going to do the obvious thing, but for the sake of saving time, yeah, sure, let's do the obvious thing. Gonna give me a small time savings, but I'll make enough mistakes that savings not be as substantial as I would like. Okay, up we go. It was a little bit empty on the right side, but you know, that's 3D World for use, and that would be very difficult to fill space and still have the platforming work as intended. Now, oh, yeah, we'll go for this. Oh boy, okay, that was slightly mistimed. However, we do know there's 10 coin there, which means that we fairly brisk. And yeah, I am going to do hard mode for this. I insist on playing that way, so. You know, we have more than enough coins to work with. Nope, losing a bit of time there. Nope. Slipped off instead of getting the wall jump. I know I could just take the easy path, but why would we ever want to do that? I do appreciate that you do have glass pipes here for a potential speedier path. You know, if people know what they're doing, they can use this more expeditiously. So for example, you know, if you can trust yourself to play without the mushroom, you don't actually need those 3 coins that are in the middle there. You know, there are enough coins to get you to the full clear condition. So if you are a particularly speedy player, going through the glass pipe is the right thing to do. But I could tell from the first level already that you do think about, you know, alternate speedrun paths. Kind of nice to know that that exists, even if we're not necessarily taking the greatest advantage of it. Okay, not going to bump our heads too much this time. Going to totally miss that, though. Try to do this accurately. Adjustment twirl definitely helped. Okay, we gotta be quick on the left side this time. Okay. Well, this looks like it was supposed to be some kind of main path after all. Or one of the available paths. And you know what? We didn't need to grab anything because there's 30 coins right there. Like, you can just speed through everything. Don't worry too much about coins. Yeah, so it looks like there are a lot of speedrun options here for people who want to optimize the time. That was not optimized, but it was a first clear, so. We had a short and jumpy snack. Thank you for the GG's. And yeah, we'll finish up this world with the castle, and then we will move on to the next submission. But assuming Dream RPG that you don't, you know, make one tiny adjustment that kicks out all of my progress, like I am perfectly willing to continue on to World 2 as a separate submission whenever you're able to get in the queue for that. See a cat bell up there, as in later. That's cool. Yes, we are going. We do know this guy respawns from the pipe, so not healthy. Not a press power up. Okay, just that. Coin down there. Yeah, we'll do it. Okay. So much for the cat. May sabotage our ability to complete the coin path later, but find out. Yep, looks like we do need a cat to bust through that spot on the right side. Have a very obvious looking pipe here that's not spawning anything. It's probably an entry point. No, it's not an entry point, it's just an aesthetic pipe. Okay, that's fine. Head up here. I guess this is meant to be... Oh, interesting, okay. Interesting, it's like a bit of a state change. The other thing that we can do is that if we take a shell, we can in fact grab that coin we saw earlier without the use of a cat. So for example, pop back here, drop around, and drop the shell. And there we go. Under here, key door. Okay, so we need to explore a bit. Let's ignore Pom Pom then. Except no, Pom Pom might actually be the guardian of the key doors. In fact, I strongly suspect she is. Which means there will be a second key door later for the bonus. This also has an additional implication, by the way. It's that if, for example, I were to take up Pom Pom, not enter this door, wrap around the other side to take the alternate path that comes from the green pipe below my feet right now, I might be able to use the key on the bonus coin door unless there's something that you do to that. Did we check it? Nah, no, let's go. Your sister has a birthday. Okay, well, YMN, thank you for dropping by, and happy birthday to your sister. Okay, that's coin right there. We probably missed one, I think. That's a decorative pipe, okay. That is creepy creeper. Aha, okay. That is a fire flower check. We'll take it. Fine. And we're totally going to miss that. Okay, so. But it does show us that there were some alternate paths. Without the key, I guess that would take you through the pipe that was bottom. So there's the Grand Maple Peak Ascension. Probably supposed to be Maple, but I'll just read it as Maple because that's what it says. Okay, thank you, Dream RPG, and that is it for World 1. So we'll continue this someday, I hope, with a bank of 56 lives. I'm going to check the state of the queue because that's going to affect whether I remain open for submissions. I find it likely that I will close, but I'll see how many people have online and also just pull up the next code in the meeting. Just give me a moment to do a bit of queue management here. Mr. Greggy Spike, I don't know if you remained all this time to see your Metroid will get played, which seems to think you are on. I wish to check in simply because we do have a pretty decent turnout. yeah, of the people remaining, I'd say probably about 5 or 6 are online. I'll want to try to get through everybody. So this is going to be the last call. I'm going to punch in this code, see if Greggy Spike checks in, but I think it's working. And this will be last call. So as I fire up the next level, I'm going to close the queue, and so those of you with a thing to send me, expect that you'll be able to stay to the end today. You'll want to send me something. SMB2, Metroid, no checkpoint, secret ending. 5 minutes or so, no checkpoint? Yeah, that's fine. Twitch seems to think, last story, that he is... That may be outdated. Not sure. That will affect how much time I spend on it. If I don't see him check in, I'm not going to spend too long. But I'm going to put in at least one attempt on this, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll almost certainly close the queue in a minute. So thank you, Dream RPG, for dropping by and for sending what you've shown me thus far. So yeah, get your last submissions in, because I will close up pretty much as soon as I take a death on this. Reach the goal after defeating all one Bowser. So this is apparently a Metroid level. Metroid 2, okay, so. Return of Samus. We see an ice power-up block here. Oh, we also know that with no checkpoint and a 5-minute clear time on the current record, that we need to be fairly brisk. Like, and too much time looking at how everything is locked. We know that we should probably go left, because that's what you do in Metroid. You grab things like the Morph Ball, or in this case... Oh, I did want to slide all the way over. I think that might actually just kill us. Not sure I like that kind of lock. Start it over and try to get through it a little faster. I totally did see that that was speed-based. We also see the scroll lock spot that is on the right side there. That's almost certainly a mistake. We need to pick something up, don't we? Blow our way out of this spot. That's a bit of a death. Okay. I am, as promised, going to close up. What? You who have stayed online after all this time, thank you for doing so. I've got to update my stream information and sort of signify that I am indeed closed for the day. And yeah, if Greggy doesn't check in, I'm not going to stay on this long. I'll come back to it at another point when I know for sure that Greggy is here. Let's refresh Warp World. It displays properly as closed. I take a moment for everything to kick in, so just hey, Bluehost GD, welcome. We actually just closed up the queue a moment ago. Hope you weren't counting too hard on having a submission open, simply because we will be running for some time, but we have a fairly lengthy queue to get to. But I do appreciate you coming by and saying hello regardless, and quite welcome to stay and watch. Now, Warp World seems to still be saying that for some reason. After I closed it. Give it an opportunity to refresh. So people don't get the wrong idea. It's going to try to reconnect. In the meantime, we'll press on. I mean, Bluehost, I can open briefly if you want to get in one code. We'll see if we can get to you, but I can't guarantee it. I usually try to guarantee getting to everybody. So punch it in quickly, I'll close up. We just had last call like a minute ago, so it's only fair to let you sneak in here with something. Would prefer not something too long though, because like it'll likely be the last thing we do when we get to yours. So please submit quickly and we'll close up again. Meantime, we'll just keep playing. Okay, we see a P-switch door that is to the right. We want to think about how to get to the on-off. Nope, that's not what we want to do. That was just a miss. I think there's anything hidden that we need to... I feel like we should pick up a spike top. Pick up a spike top and throw it. Yeah, seems like he already left. So. Okay, that's fine. We'll just close it up. That's fair. I did say that we were closed. So. Let me just think about this, and it looks very much like I should be picking that up with SMB2. I didn't know if you could stand on a spike top, though. B2, I didn't think you could. Oh, Bluehost, you're still around. Okay, yeah, Bluehost, if you wanted to submit, you should do that promptly. But that's okay. We've got a bit of a lengthy list that we've amassed at this point anyway, so. Okay. SMB2 here. I didn't think you could stand on top of spike tops, but no, I didn't think so. But what are we missing then? It seems like maybe we should just not come through here at all unless we have an item that allows you to hit the on-off. Which will not be the SMB2 suit. Like, we need to do something else first and then come back here in order to unlock it in the proper order. Hang on, Bluehost, let me reopen and then I'll through. I don't know why the AutoMod has been choking on certain level codes recently, but let me get that through. I think the AutoMod rather is looking at certain codes and it thinks they're phone numbers or something. Close up again. Probably the ones that begin with numbers, actually. There's something that's been choking on recently. And I need to figure out what's causing that so I can deactivate it. Okay, let's actually get through here. We know there's going to be some kind of P-switch activation. There's a P-switch. Let's... hang on. See an SMB2 gate. Let me just read this properly. Yeah, and it's going to gate us all the way through. Puncher and P-switch, okay. Activate that? No. Just gonna look at this. Okay, Spiny Hat, SMB2 Mushroom, Puncher, and P-switch. Yeah, that should tell us all the information we need to know. It's just that we currently don't have the way of doing this yet, because it looks like there will be some kind of P-switch progression that unlocks this pipe. What's going to happen if you activate a P-switch is that this door activates, these gates come up, these gates come down. Yeah, take your time and watch. Do appreciate you sticking around. Yeah. I may want to take a longer crack at this separately. It's just we have a large queue at this point, but I do want to at least try to solve the first puzzle sequence. Because I think going for the SMB2 right away is not going to be the answer unless we find out some other thing to do with it. Don't know about yet. However, on-off switch might do something for us. So for example, let's say we activate the on-off switch and run right. Watch this. Okay. So now we change the on-off state. Oh, wanted to get through the door there. I don't think it'll change anything, but I didn't watch that very carefully, so entirely possible. Get through here. Nope, doesn't affect anything. Didn't think so. I didn't see anything that I could have changed. It looks like SMB2 mushroom is the only way to go then, but we don't know how to get out of there just yet. And then the swamp, yeah, that's just gonna lock you straight up. I think there are a lot of, definitely some dead ends in the puzzle structure here. But let's try to weather all that. Now there's that diagonal track up there. I kind of wonder what that does. I don't think it can do anything sitting. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. I don't see anything interesting you can do except snowball. There we go. Because the snowball is the morph ball. Now I get it. Now I get it. Hadn't thought about a snowball. But now we know. Now, can we do anything interesting with this guy here? No. Bust our way through. Eventually we'll want a spiny hat to bust through those pipes. Okay. This will be interesting. Of course, just as I'm ready to leave this, that's when we start progressing. That seems to be a fairly typical occurrence. Got 2 coins. We'll lose SMB2. Too bad it doesn't preserve your progression by giving you SMB2 once you're past the SMB2 mushroom gate. But we'll see if there's another power-up that we are rewarded with soon. Like it. Oh, whoops. Yeah, we'll take another crack at trying to get through that in progression, but this is going to be long enough to map out that. I will likely move on. Let's this time not forget that we do in fact have the power of snow. It allows us to navigate that a little bit more safely. Okay. Through here we go. Some more snow. I actually like the idea of the snowball representing the morph ball. That's actually pretty inventive. We need to make some space before we pull anything down there. Okay, so that's going to unlock that, and it's going to, yep, as planned, to give us a way to preserve our item progression. Okay, take your time with the apple. Okay, that's going to be SMB2 high jump for sure. Notice that it's not really scroll locked on the right side, which indicates some the structure that will be relevant to us later, I'm sure. Let's grab the SMP2 mushroom just to have a bit of a safety buffer and to preserve our item progression once more. After that, we're going to grab another one of those and... Come on, mushroom. Yeah. This is getting quite interesting. Actually, kind of too bad almost. Unlikely to get through it in this session. Chilly stream? Yeah, well, we try to keep it chilly. I mean, it is technically a chilly level. Seems only fair. Take it with the intended mood. Let's grab some snow. Poke that the safer way. Poke that. Duck under. Make it through without taking damage. Ah, okay, the kitchen's being clean and that precludes you from getting an apple, which is too bad. Oh, you got the apple, okay. Yeah. Now that's the thing about spawning spike tops from pipes is that they just keep on coming and they stop. I think they spawn like 6 to a pipe or something. It's something preposterous. Fine, let's grab a mushroom. Pop that thing up. Pop it out, come on. Mushroom, mushroom. There we go. Okay, let's grab some of the coins again if we can. Ah. Yeah, the spike tops just get all over the place. Mushroom. Okay. Thankfully, once they do get all over the place, they don't spawn from the pipe position anymore, so at least we're in a slightly more manageable position. I would like to grab that coin. I feel like we'll need it. For some kind of key door progression. Look at how busy it is on the right side. Come on. Alright, mushroom. Okay, we gotta stop poking around with stuff like that. Always forget to account for the lag time on that. Okay. Got that a little more safely. It's gonna be a high jump location. We'll keep on going. One up mushroom. I don't think that gets us anything interesting yet. However, we could attempt to enter the pipe here. Something we have not done yet. And is, of course, a success. Eeyore. Okay, so we need 2 more pink coins. That's fine, because the snowball will get us through the first of these. If we manage to chuck it over to one-way panel. Oh, interesting. Boom Boom trying to get the drop on us, and we'll... Okay, that works too. I can get through the key door, but we'll just poke around here a little bit more. Here we go. I feel like I can get on that icicle for a more accurate throw, but... bit slippery here, that's all. Okay, that works too. I haven't checked the topmost side of this room yet, so we'll do that in case it turns out to be relevant. And there is indeed a coin there, so we'll grab a second key. Feel like we'll want one. Yeah, that's the thing about like trying to design around persistent item progression, is that you at the same time have to deal with a fair bit of incoming damage, but okay, we'll deal with it. Okay, we got 2 keys. We're down at 200 seconds. Spiny Hat, great, we'll just make it back over, and we've got a type access coming as well as currently access to an additional key door once we find one appropriately located. Okay. Should be a spiny refresh here, yeah. Oops. Okay, now we're kind of in a mild pickle. Get out through the pipe again. Alright, we need to probably get out of this room. Get back in and just... Yeah, that's the issue, is spawning the spiny or the buzzy hat in a location where it can be pushed. But... Okay, P-switch has been activated, right? Yes, it has. More P-switch, okay. We'll see what that does. Might be something time sensitive. Okay, we do have a key for this door, so that's good. Just head right through. Yeah, Alex, the list is not nearly as long as it looks, thankfully, because we do have a fair number of offliners. Let's just pelt them with snow. Grab another hat. Yeah, there we go. Now, do we want the Fire Flower, given that we have SMP2? I'm guessing yes, because we want the triple projectile. And hey, we're... Okay, we got 100 seconds to beat Bowser and to clear this, so yeah. I think we can actually get this down fairly quickly. We're also defended from up top. Not anymore, we're not. Okay, let's try to preserve some of these power-ups. A lot of bombardment coming in. Let's not die to this part. Okay, we approximately know the solution to this entire level, so we can clear it if we just don't die to Bowser. Like, that'll take us about 5 minutes to do, I think. We know the entire solution. I'm just thinking that we spent a decent amount of time on it. Don't actually know if the creator is still here, although I think Twitch says he's lurking still, so that's probably accurate. We're close to finishing because we do know the entire progression through the level, so let's just finish it. I haven't spent that long on it. Yeah, it looks like we're supposed to wrap around here with the Power of Fire, or bombardment, once we get rid of Bowser. So, grab all the pink coins. They definitely don't appear to be optional. We know what we're doing. Except that we need SMB2 for this bit here. Hang on. We could damage boost through, but then we can't recover the SMB2 mushroom. Start over. We do only have one shot at that. I have the entire level mapped out at this point, though. It's just a matter of actually fulfilling the Bill Bowser condition. And, yeah, some of the locking structure, I think, can be slightly permanent if you just take a bit of damage at the wrong spot right here. But we'll just muddle through it. One step at a time. Okay, let's unlock ourselves that MB2 refresh. Very busy segment here. Okay, got that. We had a fairly decent amount of time to spare. We had about 120 seconds remaining on the Bowser fight. We know we can get through that pipe to grab Spiny Hat, but we don't need that yet. We need coins. Back down, grab SMB2. Probably lose it. Grab the coin first. Wrap our way back down. Through here we go. Two more coins. We do know their locations. Let's get a snowball ready for Boom Boom. Oops. Gotta grab this coin first. There we go. No big deal to take a brief hit there. Nice that you can just guard yourself against Boom Boom from below. That's a very easy way to take him out. We know we need an additional coin up top here, so we'll grab that quickly. And we are through this part. B2. Okay. Spiny Hat on a track. We gotta be careful not to lose it until we manage to unlock the pipe that gives us some additional ones to work with. It'd be rather embarrassing to do that at this point, but blow that open, blow that open. Yeah, let's knock that. P-switch, head through, and the junior clown car fight should be next. After we get through the key door. I believe that's the order. Yeah, let's not lose this. Looks like the P-switch timer is not actually forced here. That's bad about losing this money. Definitely played that more carefully. Yeah, 3 snowballs, and that's going to be quick and dirty. Now, interesting that you do have the P-switch here that you can drop on. take you through a P-door, probably to progress back to the other side if you do not already have. I don't know, something that you need from the other side. Oh, actually no, it just takes you back to start, which we'll eventually want after we kill Bowser, because with the power of fire, we can blow our way through the coin gate that's at the very start of the level. So that's what the P-switch door is for. It's there to send you back out to the beginning. I would think so, anyway. Try to do it with the fire flower, and it'll be much easier that way. Yeah, those of you waiting in queue very patiently, I do try to commit to getting through everybody who is there before I go up. So, you stick around, hopefully we'll have some faster levels after this one. We're so close to finishing it, I do want to take it the remainder of the way. Yeah. Kind of terrible that we actually managed to die here, considering that, you know, looks like it was definitely meant to be designed to be death-proof. I got a fire flower for progression, that's good. We want to hit the P-switch now. Was hoping to... There we go. Pop in a P-switch, get back out. And yeah. Crack will trigger in such a way to take you back up the lift. And after the P-switch expire, we should be through and to the end. Wait, no, that's going to give us something. Mecha Koopa. Mecha Koopa, I want you to blast that thing to the skies. We have an escape sequence. Wonderful. I should have kept the fire flower here. Oh, Morton, okay. Morton, however, is going to launch some fire at us. But we gotta hit him first, I think. That's one way to hit him. That's another way to hit him. And that actually tells us that fire just unlocks more power-ups, which is nice. Also, we can sneak snowballs down at the bottom. We'll kill him basically in Morph Ball style, in word terms. It's a key. Okay, that's rather important. Maybe we won't get that 5-minute record after all. By the looks of it, we won't. But 50 coin, yeah, let's just get the clear. GG, and let's get out of here. Bonus room, we'll do it. We're not getting a record time anyway. I feel like I should leave a comment card here. We didn't save the animals. Could really get a keyboard to do this, huh? But we sure nuked that Mecha. Koopa. Nice little key check at the end. That's all there was to it. I used to post a lot more comments when I did not play on stream because I can't stand keyboard entry with the controller. Let's get out of here. That's it. So yeah, maybe a few weird things with the item progression there in terms of taking one-time items and taking damage afterwards before you unlock the refresh point. A lot of places where you can get stuck with doing that, like after you obtain the SMP2 mushroom and the spiny head for the first time, but generally speaking, quite an adventure. Thank you for GG's. Jalopy Turtle, are you still here? I think Jalopy Turtle may be long, long gone. At least that's what Twitch tells me, but free to be mistaken. Jalopy Turtle, please check in. I'll a little bit, but I think you're gone. I think we're still working through to people who had to endure the disconnection much earlier in the stream. If I remove anybody by mistake, please let me know. I know a lot of the die-hard regulars are still hanging around after all this time. Well, Instinct, I believe, is gone. Instinct, please check in. Yeah, I think they're long gone. That's what combination of disconnections and long levels will do to you sometime. Let's take a look at what's next. Okay, Electrodude. See what you got. Okay, I admit, I did actually receive in the video that you sent of what this is based on. I have actually not made it as far as the relevant episode yet, so I don't know if it would be a good idea to do this, or if we just really wouldn't get it at all. 0.09, no. Not tonight. We might do one of the hard ones anyway, just to kind of, you know, get a sense of the mechanics. I hope you don't mind me doing an early one, just because we're fairly late in the stream and I want to get through the few easier ones that remain. I know this is very early from the first week of the game, Shell Switching Shenanigans, but it seems very well liked. Your objective is to kill all the enemies. Good luck and have fun. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's a week 1 level and probably a day 1 level in terms of when you started work on it, but we'll switch some shells anyway, and then we'll really be down to your sub 1% stuff. I see, okay. You gotta be quick about it. Yeah, I see. It's timer based because you have to defend yourself from every single one of the Wiggler drops. I get it. No. Had to rethink that. Cool concept. Very cool concept. I've seen a lot of arcade levels like this before. It's sort of interesting that now that people are much more familiar with camera tricks with the scroll lock and custom scroll than they were earlier in the earliest days of adjusting to Maker 2, that this is precisely the kind of design where I would expect that some people would try to keep Mario off screen for it, were they to do it with the knowledge of the game that we have now. Obviously, this was week 1, and that's certainly not a complaint. Just an observation that it seems like a lot of people would have, when revisiting this idea now, do have something off screen. Okay, that's going to load everything in the vertical world. Back when the loading rules worked a little bit differently. I mean, they're on tracks regardless, they're going to be loaded. but the drop is just going to make sure that all of them get onto tracks in the first place. Oh, it looks like I'm going to be almost late there. Okay. Alright, there's the vertical world. Point. Yeah, this is really neat. Okay. I see, using the second half of the vertical world now. That's nice. Very efficient use of space. What happened to the muncher there? Oh, the muncher under your feet. Launched by the jump blocks? I wasn't even watching that at all. I mean, you won't be able to do the off-screen thing for the vertical world just because you don't have custom scroll, right? What is going on with the munchers there? Okay. I think I just needed to watch my feet, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, jump block through. Yeah, I need to step over to the right side. That is not locked by one-way panel. I just need to get out. Yeah, if it were only the horizontal segment, like, I could definitely see people trying to do it off screen, but... Okay. Yeah, that's a nice little twist here. It's a little hard to see at first, but the timing is actually fairly generous in terms of letting me defend and then letting me get out. Okay. That's all you have room for. Okay, so that's actually really polished for a week 1 level. I mean, I'm sure you had plenty of SMM1 experience coming in, but you know, using the vertical world for the first time, really, like back when people were still figuring out what to do with it. It's very advanced for something that's a June 2019 level. Yeah, and timing these things is much easier, just loading them all onto the tracks at once, without having to make them bend all the way around. You know, you can just have them drop on the tracks and have a very consistent sense of what the timing will be. So, thanks for that once again. We'll have to grind out through a lot of the harder ones now, and that's okay. We've done a few of the sub 1% before, and I'm sure we will again. So thank you once again, Electrodude, for all these submissions today. Last Sora, I don't know if you stuck around after all this time. I think last Sora had to leave. I'll give him a chance to check in. Last Sora is a bit of a regular, so... But I think they are probably long gone. Last Sora, I'll just have to catch next time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm through almost everything that's over 1% or so. No, that's okay. I mean, it's just that the other ones take a bit longer. Williams 7 Sevens was here not long ago when checking the queue, but I think they also had to leave. William 7 Sevens. You wish to check in if that is not true. Yeah, except the Cape level, which is 1.01. Well, I mean, not when I'm done with it, it won't be. Please, for the love of God, don't play that one. Why, so you can keep it over in 1%? Dr. Jinxie. Yeah, most people had to leave at this point, so understandable. We had a pretty big burst of viewers earlier, but I think they realized how long I was taking on some of these, and they knew this score. Yeah, Trax's indication is very easy to get much too busy with that. Alex, you are definitely here. Alex is a diehard. Please play Over the Mecha Koopa Rainbow. Okay. Now, is over the Mecha Koopa Rainbow the kind of level that will make me ask if I only had a brain, or if I only had a heart, or if I only had the nerve, the courage? I think Alex levels tend to be a mix of if I only had a brain and if I only had a nerve. We usually have the heart. Over to Mecha Koopa Rainbow, beat 3 challenges and get the treasure at the Rainbow's End. Okay. So, it involves Mecha Koopas, so naturally it is very new. It's going to be a set of battles, apparently. From about 2 weeks ago. Play. Not tight on time, but we'll make it through the first segment anyway. Okay, we need to hit the on-off switch that is at the bottom there. Quickly, grab the 10 coin. Looks like it's just going to be zones that involve each of the types of Mecha Koopas. Let's get past Blue Zone. This. Yay. Sure, let's check up here, see what's going on. No, actually, I wanted to kill that first. It'll be a bit tight to jump on top of it. I want to grab a Mecha Koopa and get that guy. I can. I definitely can. Whoops. Well, maybe I should hit the on-off first. So we have a pathway out of here. Gotta be fairly quick about hitting Mecha Koopas and using them before they pick up. Okay, not a power-up, but one-ups, okay. Whoops, we missed a one-up, that's okay. We don't really need it. Now, Mecha Koopas do carry through doors, don't they? I don't know if they work like the Bob-omb timing, where... Whoops. Okay, you want to let that guy hit the POW. Which is interesting because it means that if you accidentally hit him, you have no way of hitting that POW, right? Yeah, because if you kill that guy to the right, then nothing's gonna hit the POW. Unless, of course, you just drop a Mecha Koopa. Look, because... no, let's drop that first. Because I'm the one playing this, we are going to try to deliberately softlock ourselves just to prove it can be done. Watch. Oh no, it can't actually. Interesting, okay. One-way panels, yeah. I see the one-way panels now. Very good quality control, as always. Yeah, the one-way panels anticipated that cheese, although I will say that in at least one of the other styles, I think I actually managed to hit a Mecha Koopa through the one-way panel. It was an NSMB. I don't know if it actually works in Super Mario World, I don't think it does. But I know in NSMB there was a level I cheesed by hitting a Mecha Koopa through that. It was on tracks though, so I think it was actually off-center, and that was probably how I did it. I definitely cheesed at somebody else's design, I do. We wanted to actually get that. Alright, it's gonna be a bit of a missile ride.